Hey guys, one of the things that we have to keep in mind after having bariatric surgery are the no-no foods. And one of those foods is pizza. And if you're like me and you love pizza, it's kind of a bummer that you kind of have to just scratch that out of your diet. However, this reminded me of something that I grew up eating, and it's called Lahmajun. It's a traditional Armenian style pizza. It's very low carb, it's dairy free, it's full of protein, it's super fresh, it's super healthy. And some people develop really sensitive stomachs after having surgery. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, I went ahead and tried this the other day. It was amazing. I didn't feel sick, I didn't feel discomfort. I decided that I'm gonna share this recipe with you guys, and I guarantee you, you will love it. All right, so let's get started. These are all the ingredients you need. It's really basic. So you need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. You need 1 3/4 teaspoons of instant fast rise yeast, 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt, 8 ounces of hot water, and 3 1/4 teaspoons of olive oil. You're gonna use about 1.5 pounds of lean ground beef, 2 bundles of parsley, 2 bell peppers, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, 4 to 5 tomatoes, 1 onion, 2 tablespoons of pepper paste, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 2 tablespoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Now I'm using a Vitamix blender. You can use a food processor or whichever machine you like to make the dough. And then I've got the yeast and salt. I'm gonna add that in there. Now we're gonna add the hot water. I'm gonna just pour this in here. Once you're all done, we're gonna go ahead and transfer the dough into a nicely greased bowl. And make sure your hands are nice and floured. Just make it nice and round. And we're gonna leave it in here. We're gonna let it rise for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna put a piece of plastic over it. We'll cover it with a little towel. And we're gonna put that aside for later. We're gonna start off with the onions. Finely chopped. You're gonna cut your parsley. Try to make sure you get all the stems out of there because you don't really want that. Now it's time to add the pepper paste, tomato paste, olive oil, chili powder and paprika, salt and pepper. Now that we're all done mixing that up, we're gonna cover this up and set it aside while we get our dough ready and roll out our crust. Now that the dough has had time to rise, we're gonna go ahead and start rolling it up. So you wanna dust it with flour, make sure it's nice and coated. As you can see here, this looks great. We're just gonna go ahead and roll this out. So for the lahmajun, you don't want a thick crust. So you want to really cut this up, okay, into sections. These, you just want to put these aside and just cover them back up so they don't get dry. I'm going to make sure that you roll this into a nice little ball. Also, make sure your rolling pin has a lot of flour on it. Sometimes this gets sticky and you don't want it to tear. Try to get a nice, thin, flat crust here. It's nice and thin, okay? So to get a nice even circle, I like to use a bowl. This is a 10-cup bowl, okay? So you just wanna set that right in between, right in the center there. Kind of push down on it, maybe give it a little twist. And then you're gonna start to just peel around the edges. Right, once you've got your crust all rolled out, you're gonna get a baking pan. I like to just coat it with some olive oil spray. And then we're gonna go get our meat mixture. I like to use about 1/3 cup. We're gonna go ahead and flatten that out. Try to make it as thin as possible. I'm gonna leave a little bit of an edge so that it'll get nice and crispy. Now it's time to put these in the oven. You're gonna set your oven to 475, and then you're gonna put this on the very bottom rack for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and take this and I'm gonna move it to the top rack. I'm gonna leave it in there for another, like 3 or 5 minutes. And they look perfect. I have a little bit of brown around the edges. It's nice and crispy. You also wanna look underneath and make sure it looks nice and crispy. You don't want it to be soft. Then we're just gonna transfer that over onto a cooling rack. And wait till those cool down about 5 minutes. Once it's all cooled off, you can go ahead and cut it through. The crust is nice and thin, so you're definitely not gonna feel bloated after eating this. All right guys, that's it. This is our Lahmajun, traditional Armenian pizza. Let's see what it tastes like. This is so good, you guys. That is absolutely delicious. I hope you guys really love this recipe and have fun cooking it and making it. Please tell me what you think. If you think it's awesome, let me know in the comments. And one more thing, the red pepper paste is something that is not readily available in most grocery stores. If you have access to like a Middle Eastern store, they might have it there, but I actually ordered this on Amazon and I'll go ahead and link that in the description below. This is the red pepper paste. All right, you guys, have fun making your lahmajun. Tell me what you think. If you love it, give me a thumbs up. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.